Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a story. It's about resilience, sure, but it's also about strategy and this deep, almost forgotten connection between women, wealth, and the earth. And it all kicks off with this one simple but really powerful idea. So, this quote right here, this is the bedrock of the entire story we're getting into. This idea that there's this sacred link, right, between taking care of the land and tapping into our own power. It's a connection that, let's be honest, modern life has kind of pushed to the side. And that leads us to the big question, doesn't it? What happens when a world that's forgotten this fundamental truth tries to absolutely crush a woman who lives by it? This is where we meet Maria. Her journey is a roller coaster. I mean, she had it all, lost every single bit of it, and then somehow found her way back in the most unlikely place.
Okay, so before we really get into Maria's personal story, we've got to zoom out a little. Because her struggle, it's not just her struggle. It's tied to this much bigger, much older story about women and their relationship with power and wealth.
I mean, think about it. For ages, ancient cultures didn't just respect the feminine. They worshipped it. You look at Egypt with Isis, India with Lakshmi, the Igbo people with Allah, the Greeks with Demeter. These weren't just pretty figures on a pedestal, no way. They were symbols of raw power, the power to create, to multiply, to sustain life. They were like the divine CEOs of the natural world.
But somewhere along the way, that reverence, it started to fade. The source material we're looking at talks about this major societal shift where suddenly a woman's success wasn't celebrated anymore. It became suspicious. And this brings us right to a bias that feels, well, pretty familiar even today. It's the exact bias our hero, Maria, is about to run into. Hard.
So, this is it. This is where we meet Maria. And her story, it doesn't start with glory or power. It starts with pain. A really, really fast spiral into despair, all kicked off by tragedy and the cruel judgment of others. And what's just brutal here is how fast it all happens. I mean, just look at this timeline. She starts out as this skilled trader, right? Business is booming. Then, boom, tragedy strikes. Her partner dies. And almost overnight, the community turns on her. The whispers start. She's cursed. It's witchcraft. And that stigma, it's a poison. It kills her business, pushes her into despair, addiction, and then bam, rock bottom, totally and completely alone. So at her absolute lowest point, she had nothing. The business, gone. Her good name, gone. Friends, gone. Everyone had deserted her. Well, almost everyone. There was one person left.
And it's this one person with one simple piece of advice that sparks a complete 180. This is the pivot point of the whole story. It's the moment where her despair literally hits the dirt.
And who was it? Her late husband's mother. The only person who stuck around. And she didn't come with blame or pity. She came with a lifeline. Not money, not some complicated plan, just these 5 simple words. The soil is waiting. Go back to it. Go back to the one thing you know.
And this right here is such a powerful idea. We think of rock bottom as the end, right? But in her story, rock bottom becomes the solid ground she can finally build on. It was the only place to start over. No more illusions, no more baggage. Just her hands, and the soil. Okay, so how does she actually do it? How do you go from a small patch of dirt to a full-blown empire? Well, I'll tell you, it wasn't luck. It was pure strategy, ironclad discipline, and a totally fresh way of looking at what growth even means. So her first move is just brilliant. She knows she can't do this alone, so she builds a team. But she doesn't go looking for the most experienced people. Nope. Her number one rule, hire for heart. She finds these 2 young, loyal boys who've also faced hardship, and she doesn't just hire them, she trains them herself. She respects them, she treats them like partners. She gets it. A loyal team is worth more than gold. All right, next up, her money strategy. And this is key. As she starts making a little money, she resists every single temptation to get flashy. No parties, no fancy clothes, no getting involved in politics. Instead, every single spare cent goes right back into the business. We're talking irrigation pipes, sprayers, crates, real tools.
She wasn't building a facade of wealth, she was building an actual foundation of assets.
And out of this discipline, she develops this incredibly simple but powerful rule for her money. It's the kind of thing they teach in business schools, but she figured it out just through pure gut instinct. Look at this: 70% saved, 20% reinvested, and 10% given away. This wasn't just about getting rich quick. This was a system for building real, sustainable, intelligent wealth. And here's the big mental leap she made. She stopped thinking like a gardener and started thinking like a CEO, right? She wasn't just growing vegetables anymore. She was building a system. She started supplying hotels, supermarkets. She even organized other farmers into cooperatives. You know that saying, work on your business, not just in it? She lived that.
And all that work, all that discipline, it all leads to this. The story comes full circle. The woman they called cursed, well, she's back. And she's not just surviving, she's in charge.
I mean, the transformation is just, wow, look at this. The then column, cursed, broken, abandoned. Now, they call her Mama Empowerment. She's a mentor, a legend. She didn't just fix her life, she completely rewrote the narrative.
And what about all those people who gossiped about her? This is my favorite part. She has this amazing piece of wisdom. She didn't waste 1 second on revenge. She knew that success speaks way louder than gossip. So she just focused on building a legacy so powerful that it completely drowned out all the noise.
So what can we take away from all this? What's the playbook here? Well, her entire journey boils down to these core principles. First, start with what you have. It's enough. Second, reinvest before you reward yourself. Build the foundation first. Hire for heart, train for skill. And this one's powerful. Let pain prune your potential. Use the hard times to cut away what's not working and double down on what is. And finally, serve your community and grow inward. That's where the real wealth is.
Ultimately, Maria's journey shows us that life is a lot like farming. It has seasons. There are seasons for hardship, seasons for planting, seasons for growth, and seasons for harvest. So, it leaves us with one final question to think about. What about you? What season are you in right now? And more importantly, what seeds do you need to be planting today for the harvest you're hoping for tomorrow?